A question that is commonly asked: does a human being have a choice in belief and disbelief? If so, why are some people born into Muslim families and others are not? The first question, whether we have choice in belief or disbelief, the answer is yes. When we say a human being has no choice, that relates to those things that they have no determination, in which they have no determination. For instance, which family were you born into? What height will you grow up to? When will you die? What nationality you belong to? All these different things, a human being has no choice and will not be questioned. What is a human being questioned regarding? A human being is questioned regarding those things which they have clear choice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created choice inside of a human being. But that choice is limited, and a human being is only asked regarding that choice according to his limited capacity. For instance, if there is a human being dying in the desert and he consumes some swine. When he consumes some swine, he saves himself from the pangs of death. When he saves himself from the pangs of death, will this person be questioned regarding eating the flesh of swine? The answer is no, because he was dying. So the choice that a human being is questioned regarding is limited, regarding those actions where he has a clear choice and he is not forced to do anything. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates that choice for him, meaning the ability to do so. This is why the Quran states, وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا إِن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. You have no will unless Allah wills for you. What does that mean? Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates the power of self-determination within you. Like He created your eyesight, you are able to look right and left and be able to observe things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created will, power inside of a human being, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him the ability to earn action. So if we pick up something, this is done by choice. We will be asked regarding our choice of belief and disbelief. Based on this, some people ask the question, what is the judgment regarding people who have never heard of Islam? The Quran states, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We will never punish a people. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ. We will never punish. حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ, until we dispatch. رَسُولًا, and messenger. Meaning, when the message reaches them of the one true creator, of the message of Islam, then the person is legally obligated to believe. But who is exempt from this punishment? Who is exempt? For instance, in our Sharia law, a child who dies and his parents were non-believers, such a child will not be punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So children are exempt. Who else? Mentally ill people. People who are mentally ill, they will never be punished. Thirdly, a group of people who have never heard of Islam. They are not tasked to believe in Islam because they have never heard of Islam. They have never heard of the Quran or the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So who is left? People who are mature. People who have sanity. Their faculties are working, their sight is working, their hearing is working, they can hear the message of Islam and understand the message of Islam. When the message of Islam reaches them and they are adults, they are then obligated to believe. Then these people are two categories. One category are those people who have understood Islam and refuse to accept they are still disbelievers. A second category who have the opportunity to learn about Islam and still refuse, both of these two groups will be punished forever. The first, because they understood and rejected. The second, because they have an opportunity to find out and they refuse. For instance, many former Muslims, people who left Islam, if you invited them to this gathering of ours, they will refuse to come. If they had an opportunity to meet me and discuss, they will refuse to meet. Once they make that choice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bar them from belief because they have made that choice themselves. But if they themselves choose to come and learn the truth and seek answers, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide them. So many of them discuss with people who are not learned regarding Islam, so many of these type of questions. But when the person will say, I am unable to answer these questions, I will take you to someone who can answer your questions, they refuse. So this is by choice that they are choosing to disbelieve. Also, these people who choose to disbelieve, why are they punished forever? Someone may say, they could have been punished for a short period of time. Why are they punished forever? The reason being that disbelief is such a crime that if someone were asked, an atheist is asked, if you saw the Almighty, will you still believe? They will say no. For instance, Christopher Hitchens, famous atheist, he said, even if I see God, I will not believe in Him. So such a person, if he lived forever, and even if he had the divine, the vision of the divine, which a disbeliever never will have, but if he did, he said himself clearly that he will still refuse to believe. Now such a person, if he lived forever, he will continue to disbelieve, therefore he is punished forever. Unlike the sin of drinking alcohol. If someone drinks alcohol and becomes intoxicated, this sin lasts for a moment, and then the person resumes normality after the state of intoxication goes away. The sin lasted a moment, he is punished for a moment, and even then he may not be punished, because the divine mercy is so great. Because as Muslims and atheists should know this, we believe if a person commits a sin, the sin is not counted for 6 hours, 6 worldly hours, in case the person chooses to repent. And even when it is written down, one sin is written. But when a person intends to do a good deed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the angel to write one deed. When he carries out the good deed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the angel to write down 10 good deeds. Then those good deeds negate the bad deeds. So the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is vast, except for the disbeliever. If someone says, okay, he disbelieved, but when he's resurrected on the day of judgment, he chooses to believe, why does he still be punished forever? The answer is that such a person, when he's resurrected on the day of judgment, if he was returned back to earth, he will still remain a disbeliever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this in Al-Quran al-Karim, that this type of disbelief is such that a person who chooses to disbelieve and dies in disbelief, when he returns back to earth, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returned him back to earth, which will not happen, he will still choose to disbelieve. And this is why they are not given a second opportunity. The opportunity is there for them. Once they have reached the age of maturity and have sanity and their faculties are working and they heard the message of Islam. Let's say someone is confused and they heard Muslims are terrorists and Muslims are pedophiles and Muslims are all these evil crimes that you can think of that people accuse Muslims of today. This non-Muslim, hears about Islam, but then when he is given the opportunity, come and attend a lecture where you will learn about Islam and you can even ask these questions in that lecture, and he still chooses to refuse, has he chosen disbelief for himself or not? Of course he has. This is why even that category of people also fall into the category of disbelief. But the category that are exempt are those people who have never heard of Islam, have never heard of Quran, have never heard of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. So the atheist will ask, why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just create us and leave us without a law? This is what deists believe. Deists are people who believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything and then left everything. A bit like a clock. A person makes a clock and leaves a clock. The deists believe God created the universe and left the universe. So some people ask, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not just create us and leave us without a law? Why do we need law? Because so many people choose to disbelieve simply because of the law, the Sharia law. But I will tell them, if you choose to believe in Islam and the Quran and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, but do not follow the law of Islam, you still remain a believer. You will still have the opportunity to be saved. But a person who chooses to believe, he remains in hellfire forever. So the choice of belief does not involve practice. Practice is additional to belief. If someone commits a sin in Islam, he does not become a disbeliever. He still remains a believer, even though he's sinful. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still give him salvation after he is punished for his sins, if he is punished at all. One thing which we did mention in the previous question was, why are some people born into Muslim families and others are not? On the Day of Judgment, so many people will be resurrected that were born into Muslim families, but they will be resurrected as disbelievers. And people will be shocked at that. Why will they be shocked? They will be shocked simply because outwardly a person shows Islam. Inwardly, if he has died regarding Islam or regarding some belief in Islam, does such a person remain a Muslim? A person has doubt regarding his faith. He has doubt regarding the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does such a person remain a Muslim? The answer is no. But outwardly amongst people he acted like a Muslim. And then he died. People will think he died as a Muslim. They will pray his funeral prayer. But on the Day of Judgment he will be resurrected as a disbeliever. So there is no favor, or we would say better wording for this, there is no better opportunity for someone who is born in a Muslim family. Why? Because once he grows up and he has the choice, after he's 15 years, the choice of to believe or disbelieve. A person who has reached 15 or the age of maturity, in the same way. A person born in a non-Muslim family, when he becomes mature, he will hear about Islam. He is only tasked to believe in Islam. Once he hears about Islam, he is also mature and can make the choice. Who says that once a person accepts Islam, they must cut off their entire family? If someone becomes a Muslim, he has faith, he simply prays 5 times a day and avoids those things which are prohibited, which are a handful of things, which any sane human being will do. What are those things? Lying, cheating, backbiting, slander, jealousy, hatred, rancor. These are the inward sins. And the outward sins he would avoid: adultery, drinking alcohol, taking drugs. stealing. He will avoid those things, accept Islam, pray, attempt to pray 5 times a day, and he will keep ties with his non-Muslim family, stay good with them. Will not take part in religious things, but apart from that, he will keep links with them. So this person still has the same choice as a person born in a Muslim family. The person born in a Muslim family, when he is 15, he chooses to believe, or he chooses to disbelieve. Now when he chooses to disbelieve, some of them openly disbelieve, and some of them choose to remain as disbelievers but hide their disbelief. This is why on the Day of Judgment, many Muslims, outward Muslims in this world, will be resurrected as disbelievers, because inwardly they did not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is no better opportunity for someone born in a Muslim family and someone who is born in a non-Muslim family. Both are only tasked to believe once they are mature adults and they have their own mind.